Hi everyone, my name's Scott from ColourSpace and I'm joined here by Britt Merrylees. And today we have something quite special. We have the start of a three-part series all about encaustic art. So, please tell us, what is encaustic art?
Sure, so I'll start with the boring definition. So encaustic art is the term given to the application of wax. So basically that just means anybody that works with wax as a paint medium. And so for me, I'm a bit different to a traditional encaustic artist. So I work with wax as my only medium. Everything in my pieces is 100% wax, whereas traditionally an encaustic artist will probably use it more as a medium in a painting or as a secondary element to an artwork.
What is a defining characteristic of encaustic? Do they all look like this, for example?
Definitely most artworks do not look like mine if you're a traditional, authentic, or maybe an old encaustic artist. So quite often you'd look at encaustic painting and you wouldn't actually realise that there might be wax in it. So they use different techniques like hot stamping, and it's more about a textural sort of painting. So you'll look at it as a painting and then they've actually laid the wax on top, and sometimes you might not even be able to pick up that there's wax in the painting. Whereas for me, these pieces are just 100% made from wax, and that's the only element I use.
One of the key defining things that I've noticed about your artwork and that you certainly also promote is that you can touch it.
Yeah.
And that creates a different sensation of looking at an encaustic piece.
That's probably typically not something that most artists would allow. This sort of came to me because of the nature of the pieces that I create. So as I've mentioned, it is just 100% made from wax. And I actually use like a microfiber cloth to maintain it and to get the dust off it. And as I was doing that, I noticed the sensory sort of element to it. And while obviously a microfiber cloth is gentle, so is a hand. And if you're not wearing any jewelry underneath, it's definitely okay to touch over the top and you're not going to damage the piece. I used to run markets at my local markets in Bondi, and so many kids would run up to me and want to touch the paintings. And for a kid, sensory touch is a massive thing. And I thought, oh, you know what? You can touch it. And so that really, just watching them have that interaction and seeing them have that sensory touch to it, I thought, yeah, why not? That's definitely allowed in my paintings.
I think that's great. And you know, artists often talk about how it's so nice to be able to see people respond to it, and to see people be able to touch and not just, you got to stand there. Right? You can look but not touch, especially as children. They always told not to touch. For them to create that, have that level of engagement, sounds like it's really fantastic.
Yeah.
Why do you enjoy creating encaustic art?
Oh, I think I really like the tactile nature of the wax. I really like being able to work with my hands. And I do love painting. In school, before I learned encaustic art, I definitely was a painter. So I think wax was sort of the next best thing, and having that sort of tactile nature to it where you can actually touch it and see the texture. And that's something else I'm obsessed with, is texture. So texture I've been studying in art since I was in Year 9, and I don't think I'll ever be finished with wanting to discover texture. And so that's why wax is also an awesome material to work with, because it just creates texture naturally.
Would you encourage other artists to give it a go?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're a painter or something similar to what I started off with, I think by all means that's something you could definitely enjoy.
And is it hard to get into encaustic art?
Look, it's definitely something that maybe you would need to take a class on, or it is something that you could research maybe online, like a tutorial or something, and then pick up some tips from that. The materials are quite hard to source, so the things that you need, it takes time. It's something you're going to need to prepare for. It's not really something in an afternoon that you could just gather from an art store and be ready to create with.
Thank you for sharing with us what encaustic art is. I know that it's something that is perhaps a bit rarer and something you don't see as much. In the next part of our series, we'll start talking about some of the equipment that you might need, where you get some of these materials from, and just what's that first step. So stay tuned for that next video.